Pour yourself a bowl of Signature Select Silly Circles. It's Saturday Morning Crunch, the show where we review the Saturday morning cartoons that you nominate. I'm your host, Kyle Von Kubik, and I'm joined along with John E. Capcom. John, are you there?
Oh,
I said hello. What do you want from me?
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I didn't pick up.
I apologize.
That's okay. Give me a good hello.
Fuck. Yeah, hi. That was delivered with a little bit of extra salt there for your.
We're leaving it all in, and yes, Peter Graphic and Chris Nickelben Herb is also here. It's the Gotta Go cast. Hello. Because we're talking Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Everyone's excited, right?
Woo.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Yay.
Guys, don't hate on this show. I think we're all.
I had severe flashbacks watching this episode. Like, this is one that aired a lot. So
I'm going to assume we all watched this as young children, right?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Who didn't want
early teenager, but yeah.
Who didn't want to have a Sonic property that they didn't control?
Sure.
You know? It's like, how can we make this better? Well, if it was less interactive, maybe, and more talky, that's the logic here.
We're talking specifically season 1, episode 41, Attack on Pinball Fortress. Cartoon seasons and episodes are so strange. It'll be like season 1, episode 5000.
Well, in this case, it actually kind of makes sense. It was 65 episodes. Not counting the holiday special that they threw in when they started airing it on USA.
The holiday special. We should get together again around the Christmas time for that one.
But that's like
7 episodes, so close to the sex number.
Exactly, but that's what, 13 weeks, 5 episodes a week, every weekday. So that kind of makes sense, but also that's a lot of shit to crank out. It was literally just that season.
Now, I think we touched on this on the Spinball episode. This is the more comedic cartoon as opposed to the darker one, which I always thought the darker one came out later. The one where it's him and Sally, right? Sally's one of the
Sally and Bunny Rabbit and the Walrus. I don't remember any other names.
But it's
because the characters were in Spinball as cameos.
Right. Yeah. So it's my understanding though that came out at the same time as this. I always saw that one later. This was my jam as a kid. I loved it. I remember specifically my parents took me and my younger brother to Disney World. And I remember feeling like such a badass because we were staying at the hotel on the resort and they had cable and it must have been Cartoon Network. They were showing Sonic and I was like, yeah, I'm watching Sonic in Mickey's Land. I don't know why I felt like such a badass, but I did.
I think Disney Plus or one of the Disney Toon had the cable network had this for a while when it went into
that's probably
post-run syndication. So that's probably why they had it.
Well, Sega had a big presence in Epcot in the innovations area.
You're right.
Yeah. So that could have been it.
It was probably all tied up in the same bundle of partnership.
Oh, totally.
So there were 65 total episodes for the entire series. Is that correct?
67 if you don't count the pilot. And again, there was a holiday special that they whipped up and threw on when it got thrown to USA for cable syndication.
Gotcha. And there was a boatload of home releases for this because this was a very popular program back in the 90s.
Yeah, but the thing is, every home release was also like incredibly shortcut. Like they would release like 12 or 13 or 8 episodes depending on the region and the company that it was getting bounced off of. And this was the days where you would get 2 episodes on a tape and pay like $30 to $40 for it, and Suncoast would be like, "Yeah, fuck you, buddy."
30 to 40, that's Dragon Ball Z numbers. Are you kidding me? Well, you get 2 episodes on that. I think.
Yeah. Like $40 and no nudity?
Right.
I mean, come on.
The anime is right there.
That was the market back then.
Peter, are we giving you flashbacks to working at Planet Comics with the kids coming in looking for the boobies on the cartoons?
Yep, all the time. We had a lot of anime back there, and
where's your
questionable?
Where's your wall scrolls? That was me, actually. I'm not making fun of anybody.
Oh man, I was pre-wall scrolls in my shopping days.
Yeah, we had a ton of those, and the Dragon Ball Z tapes were just endless, and everybody thought I knew all about anime, and I don't.
Right.
Could never help them out.
So, John, was there a toy line for the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Well, I mean, there's obviously plenty of Sonic toy lines over the years.
Sure.
In my research for this episode,
Yeah.
I found a video of a guy on YouTube who said he'd gotten some toys from Brazil that were directly based on the show.
Of course they were from Brazil. Of
Of course.
course.
This show is coming out on Laserdisc in Brazil next week. But
Did you hear about the hot new console coming to Brazil?
What's that? The Atari 2600?
You ruined my joke. I was going to say it's called the Sega Mega Drive.
Oh no, come on. The Mega Drive is a staple of Brazil at this
The
point.
Master System is a staple
Yeah.
of Brazil. Yeah.
It's
Both are, yes.
I love Brazil's video game culture.
Sure.
Because it's just like it's like a black hole or something. All time exists at the same time. You know, all generations exist together.
So this is put out by our French compatriots, Deke Animation City.
Like every other video game property. Oh,
did they do the Super Mario Brothers?
Oh, they did the
Yes.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
Like the two heads on this worked on the adventures of Super Mario Brothers 3, because everything's a fucking adventure when you're taking a game property and just ruining the art style.
You didn't like the art? Well, we'll get up to the art style.
I like it on its own. We'll get there.
Wait. We'll get up to it. But okay, we all watched this as kids. Pete and I live very close to each other, so yes, we were both watching this on Pix channel 11.
WPIX.
Yes. Where were you guys watching it back in the day?
Here in around Philly, we had it on. I believe it was WPSG Philly 57 is the one that had it. It was one of the. I forget if that's the one that turned into UPN and then a CW, but PHL 17 around here is also CW. It's weird, but yeah, that was a thing.
Yep. No,
and what was it like in Ireland?
Well, I believe it was on the Irish stations.
Gotcha.
I think we had a whopping 2 TV stations in the whole country back then.
Now, did they give you...
when I was doing my research, I believe it was mentioned at least getting syndicated on RTE. So
yeah, I'd say it was on RTE2, and then I believe it was on either BBC Two or Channel 4. And we used to get we still get the UK stations because we speak the same language.
Now in Ireland, did they dub it or did they give you subtitles?
Well, they actually had to play it at 1.5 speed so we could listen to it at a normal speed for us. Yeah, I remember it being omnipresent, if you know what I mean.
Sure, sure.
Again, I'm sure it was on RT. I used to watch it on I used to go for cartoons though on the British show channels because they tended to get them faster.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know,
they probably got Hero Turtles before you did, right?
Yeah. Well, technically we got it first because it was made here. Yeah, a lot of the time it was just like RT would be just like, oh, coming soon. It's the Power Rangers. And that would be in 1999, you know?
The classification, the genre of the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, or I believe it's just called Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, is of course adventure because it's in the goddamn title.
Yeah, it's the kind of like barely scripted crap that, again, they got 65 episodes out of one season. It was just there to distract children after school and keep them from doing their homework so they would get yelled at.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a theory about the kids who watched this who became adults.
Yeah, like I feel like this sort of lol random thing like would come back and become the sort of thing that you'd see in Aqua Teen, 12-ounce Mouse, so much of Adult Swim's like core thing. I would say Space Ghost, but that was they had a plan with that, like the whole record an interview and then completely change the questions for the cartoon part. Like there was a plan to that, but like the goofier stuff, it feels like I don't know if people grew up and started making that, or if it was like people grew up and realized they could market that to the people who'd grown up, or a mix of both maybe. But like I feel like there's a connection there to that trend. At least I'd say like the first half of Adult Swim's life. Honestly, I remember at least carried up through Squidbillies and plenty of other crap.
Yeah, I kid when I say it's an adventure program. It's a children's comedy cartoon in the same vein as things that were around at the time, like your Ren and Stimpy's and your Rocko's Modern Life and your Cow and Chicken type stuff. So it's wacky. It's crazy. It's silly. Zany. Yeah. I believe Pete feels it's zany.
it's just zany for the sake of being zany. Like
right.
You know, it's not grotesque like Ren and Stimpy, and like Rocco kind of skated that line, but it's just like the safe zone for being zany.
I would say that while I think many people would probably say that, oh, this is a reaction to John K's sort of push to animation stardom back in the 90s with Ren and Stimpy, I would say, hey, no, let's not give John K any more spotlight. Let's go over to Joe Murray with Rocko's Modern Life, because I feel like Rocko's Modern Life is a better parallel to this show, but with much weaker writing.
Yeah, and Joe Murray wasn't trying to groom children.
Allegedly.
Well, I was kind of getting to that as well.
I won't even get it. But if you remember, Mighty Mouse had like a comeback in the 90s too, and that was
that was weird. That was weird.
Because that was I forget his name, but he was a famous animator for being grotesque and like
Ralph Bakshi.
Ralph Bakshi, yeah.
So
like
John knows he's one of my favorites.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's one of your favorites and yours only.
Yes, I can't stand Bakshi's work, but we won't get into that on this show.
I like and appreciate Ralph Bakshi.
Agreed.
Yeah, he was definitely influential.
I appreciate him for elevating people who are much more talented than he is.
Oh, but like Bakshi as well, like it's like I said to you privately about Frank Frazetta.
Yeah,
they're like whatever you want to say about the content of their work, there is no mistaking whose work it is.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know, he's a very much a distinctive artist who's had really great ideas. He just didn't always execute them to the highest standard. That's my ultimate critique of him.
So who wants to summarize the plot of this specific episode? Obviously, we're talking about Attack on Pinball Fortress because it has the weakest tie-in to Sonic Spinball.
Well,
we'll get to that.
I mean, I have a briefly a plot where Dr. Robotnik is testing his new stupidity ray around town and draws the attention of a military general and a salesman, which I think you guys know their name. Who want to take? I know you guys who want to take that ray for themselves to just make people more stupid. So Sonic sees this and destroys the ray, only to find out that Robotnik is building a larger one in his pinball fortress and plans on making the whole world stupid. So the three heroes.
Watching this episode will make you stupid.
So they all decide to storm. They all decide to storm the fortress together, and for stupid reasons, and destroy it.
It'd be pretty funny these days if he did a remake of this episode, and when he zaps them with the ray, they just get radicalized by fake news on Facebook.
Yeah, Sonic's complaining about vaccines.
I'm one of Robotnik's big brain internet soldiers. Anyway,
welcome to the Mobius branch of QAnon.
But, they get zapped with it, and they just go, "Man, you know what? I need some of those Alex Jones chewable vitamins." All right.
Sonic doesn't go fast. He's the slowest hedgehog.
We've got the finest buckets of calories you're going to need in the great oncoming whatever the fuck.
Grounder and Scratch are some of the finest robots.
Our water is filtered, so it's not going to make you gay.
Oh my gosh. How much of the show won't be cut out? Find out. All right, Chris, tell me some of these characters that we're introduced to, because clearly they're all taken from the games, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Like, okay, so first, like in this scathing dressed out of the military-industrial complex and market capitalism, Robotnik rolls in like titty out. You can't actually see any nipple, but he's wearing. It's supposed to be like a Rambo reference, but he's just there in camo pants and like a bandolier of ammunition. Even though this thing doesn't seem to take ammunition, there's something that looks like a magazine on the front, but it looks like it's being used more like a handle. Mm-hmm. It's a ray gun, so like, unless it's spitting out batteries, it's never really shown.
Well,
anyway,
Sega, I mean, the Game Gear, you're going to need that if it does.
Yes.
In fact, they sold a bandolier. Sega sold a bandolier for the Game Gear where you put like a bunch of D batteries in it to charge your to get like an hour more power for your Game Gear. I'm sorry.
Nintendo at least had a chargeable pack that was also obnoxious and huge.
Yeah.
But you can clip it to your belt, which was cool.
No, it wasn't. I guarantee you it wasn't.
It was less uncool than the bandolier. Let's put it that
nice
way.
Battery fanny pack, loser.
Yeah, you just roll out with that. And that on your belt, you've got the magnifier with the speakers and the little button clip-ons that makes it joystick on the D-pad. My brother had half of it, but we combined them both at one point. Anyway, so you got Sergeant Doberman trying to train some guy. He was a sergeant, not a general. So allegedly he has superiors somewhere. And Wes Weasley, shiesty snake oil salesman, trying to sell blank encyclopedias to a young man. But yeah, he's firing the thing everywhere. He gets the nerd to buy the encyclopedias. Robotnik is firing the thing everywhere. Gets broken, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and he before it gets broken, he also zaps the soldier that Doberman trying to train, and he gets all, oorah, I want to be part of the wet army. Right. That is the Marines or whatever. And yeah, so like half the episode is just establishing Wes Weasley was in several other episodes, so I think they both were.
Wesley Weasel, yeah. You know what?
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys that.
It bent my mind looking at his suit because the way that they composited the Argyle pattern.
I love that though. I love that.
Right? But as a kid, I was just like, why is his shirt like this flat picture?
Almost
moves and it doesn't move like. It bent my mind, and like I as a kid, I was just trying to wrap my head around how that was even animated. I thought it was like magic, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So they break the original stupidity ray. Robotnik with Scratch and Grounder, who Scratch proves he cannot get any stupider after getting hit with the ray.
I think that was a funny bit.
That was funny, yes.
Yeah.
But they haul back to the Pinball Fortress, which apparently Wes Weasley sold them all the devices within. So confirmed arms dealer, love it. Tails gets them over or helps them get over the cliff. Like he kind of hangs out, but he doesn't really do anything. Yeah, I think he helps haul a rope across a chasm. Wes rusts out the door. They bounce through a bunch of like hastily assembled pinball like areas. There's a joke about.
I gotta tell you your summary of the actions that they did within the Pinball Fortress is about 10 times longer than the amount of time they spent in the Pinball Fortress. And I was like so disappointed by that because I'm expecting there's going to be flippers. There's going to be bumpers. We're going to see the sea monster from Spinball. We're going to see him. We're going to see Tails and Sonic doing their best, like paddling in the oil drum, you know, none of that. None of that happened. Yeah. They're in this fortress for no joke, probably about 15 seconds.
And let's be honest here. Okay. The setup for this whole episode was about the stupidity ray. Okay?
Yeah, and then they're like, "We got to push this stupid pinball game."
Yeah, that's what happened when the nerdlingers down in the video game studio are going to make a pinball game now. So we have to wrench that one in. And I know, make it a pinball castle or a pinball shoe shop or something. I don't give a shit. Just fucking get it.
There
wasn't any pinball anything in there.
Yeah, right? Well. There's two bumpers. Yeah, there's a thing with bumpers, and there's some bumpers on the backgrounds. That's it. They're not even ball. Like Sonic doesn't go to ball form while he's in there.
The Doberman
one
guy
joke
gets
about
hit
bumper
by
time.
Yes, and the Doberman guy gets hit by a flipper or some sort of pinball thing.
Also on the way in, both Wes Weasley and Sergeant Doberman remove each other's pants somehow on a zip line. I think I think I'm actively trying to block it out as I'm talking about it.
That whole thing with the rope made me so angry because they shot the rope over there and Sonic like flew over there, and I was like, well, why do they even need to do that? Like he just kind of jumped over the chasm. What was the whole point of that? It was just it annoyed me so much.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
And then like eventually they end up in a room that's more like the Lava Powerhouse Zone, but the Scorpion boss that I didn't know until I'd actually watched somebody play the game more than 2 screens in. It's the boss from the Toxic Cave Zone. It's kind of a Scorpion. I did like the TV's for eyes. That was cool. That was cool to me.
Yeah. Just like Mega Man.
Yeah, so they hang out there for a minute, break the Scorpion. Sonic pretends to surrender. Robotnik, like an idiot, has told Scratch to fire the ray when he says shoot. and then he says shoot because he can't say shit. Like after the other two guys pull guns on it, it's so fucking weird.
It's bad. I think our premise is like, I don't know for fact, but I'm gonna guess that exactly how John described it is how it went. Like they had a whole episode written out for this stupidity ray, and then it was like, they want us to push Spinball. What do we do? Well, we're doing this on a shoestring budget, so let's give them 10 seconds of pinball.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't happen until you're halfway through the rest of the episode, like literally halfway.
Yes.
To be fair, okay, nobody fucking asked for Sonic Spinball. All right, so it's not like for the most part, the kids are back at home going, where's the Spinball? Because again, nobody wanted it. Nobody was like going. Nobody played Sonic the Hedgehog and went, "This would be so much better if there was loads of flippers." It's like you could go play Crew Ball anyway, which is a better game.
Like we discussed on the episode.
It came out in the same year. I think a couple years before, actually.
So that's pretty much the setup. The bad guys defeated, good guys win.
Yeah, Robotnik in like baby talk idiot mode hits the self-destruct button.
Oh, he gets zapped. You're right. He gets zapped. Yeah, right.
And it blows up the fortress, and everybody else gets blown clear or whatever. And then there's some. I don't even remember what the dialogue after that was. But then Robotnik hits the self-destruct button again because apparently it works twice, and they just wanted another explosion. I like that. Of all the things, that's what bothers me.
And then we have a very powerful Sonic Says, where he says, you're stupid if you don't go to school.
Twice. And rule number 3. Times. Remember the first 2 rules.
Yeah. I never understood this. I put this in my notes, right? I used to watch a lot of television from America, and there would always be a character that says, "Hey, stay in school." Like Mr. T would tell you to stay in school or whatever. And they're going, do they have a choice over there or something? Because if you don't go to school here.
No, there were laws in place that children's television couldn't just be selling toys and video games. There had to be an educational component for a certain percentage of the show, and that's why G.I. Joe had it, and this show had it.
Sailor Moon Says,
at the end they would cut that in because, like, the Sailor Moon Says is a perfect example, Chris, because that was like just a bunch of B-roll slapped together for the American audience. Like, Sonic Says was actually animated for us, whereas that was just like, we're just gonna have the voice actress say, like, don't do cocaine, 7-year-old girl and boy watching the show, stay away from crack. That's what Sailor Moon says.
I like that show. Cops had a lot of that too.
Yeah, so this is very similar to those type of shows that were around at the time. It's similar to the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I know we touched on the Super Mario Brothers 3 show. I completely missed that as a kid. I feel like it went from Super Mario Brothers Super Show to the Super Mario World, which was
what makes me laugh.
Only got worse. Yeah, go ahead.
To get back to that point, they could have written something substantial.
They could have. They decided not to.
No.
Yeah, they were like, "Will we write something substantial that has meaning and has messages, or will we just write some cheapo shite that lasts 20 minutes and then staple on a fucking leaflet's worth of information at the end?"
Again, 65 episodes that they cranked out in like probably maybe a year. That ran for maybe a year. Like they were running really fast and really loose.
To think about, because John and I talked about Jace and the Wheeled Warriors, which came out by the same studio. But like, writing aside, because the writing in Jace isn't good either. But there was, at least for the episode we watched, there was like real money and effort put in. This is just a little bit above Super Mario World, which I watched plenty of those because my child got into the Super Mario Brothers characters recently, and I was like, oh, well, there's a cartoon about it. I touched on this with you guys. And then I felt bad about having the show on because I thought CPS was going to take him away because that's how stupid that Super Mario Brothers World show is. And as far as
those were the dark days. That was the one that was back to back with Captain N Season 3 at 11 minutes each. Mario 3 was at least a 1 hour block of half hour of each.
Yeah, but, that back end of Captain N was bad too.
It's not even on the complete series DVD. It did not fucking happen.
Really? They just scrub it from history.
Yes.
I think it's on like
the only shame of that is that like season 3 was the only time the Tetris World and Wombat Man both came back at some point. Wombat Man being the superhero they made up for the fucking Marble Madness episode, which had more pinball than this show.
Marble Madness is such a. I don't know if I think I've probably said this before, but I found it. I found it very sad in a strange way. Whenever
Marble Madness.
Yeah, I find it very. I know, like I feel like I'm the last man left alive when I play.
Oh yeah, well the music doesn't help that either. It's and plus like all the stages are so desolate, and the music's like.
It feels very much like a Jason Rohr game. If it had like a haiku at the beginning of it or something, like I'd believe that he put it out.
If you could only see like a sliver of it. You know?
Yes.
But if I
remember correctly, the guy from it actually. What games did he do? Because I know he was on like the PS4 design team, and like he's around still.
Well, whatever. I mean,
Mark Cerny, that's who I'm thinking of.
We're getting way off track. We're deep in the weeds now. Yeah. Let's reel it back in. After watching this episode and remembering your childhood, what other shows aside from Mario, which is the obvious comparison?
I can run the full Mario history tie because like. Well, I'll keep it quick, but like basically every year from 89 through 91, I think, there was Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah. I want to get back to just this point too, because we've already derailed this show. So I'm watching it with my kid. I'm like, this is terrible. I got to turn this crap off. But as I'm watching the show, I see a slate, an animation slate, scene, whatever, shot this come on the screen. I was like, was that a slate? And I rewound it. Yeah. They left it in. They didn't give a shit. Toad's hat, it's red and white. Sometimes it's white and red. Doesn't matter. None of this matters. Sometimes Luigi's talking and it's Peach's voice. They don't care. Yeah. They just put it out. So I will say that the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog is better than the Mario output. Because I don't remember ever seeing that stuff happen with the few episodes I watched for this this program we're discussing right now.
Yeah, in 90 was the Mario 3 one, which was back to back with season 2 of Captain N, and then Super Mario World, which is fucking garbage. And I don't know if the same people were responsible for that one as 3. Like 3, to be fair, they were working alongside development of the game, which is why none of the Koopa kids have the right names in the cartoon. But like, it's there's no excuse. Yeah, so like that was what a 2-3 year lead on Sonic, a 2-year I think. Like even Acclaim had licensed cartoons at this point. The Power Team, unfortunately, far too long lived because it lasted for I think 2 seasons. Game show / advertising venue, Video Power. Like you had Quirk the Tomato, Kuros from fucking Wizards and Warriors, Bigfoot the monster truck.
The truck, yeah.
The dude from Narc and some kid from Arch Rivals, who I always thought was from Double Dribble.
And Bill Lambier. No, he was in that show.
I wish. But yeah, and the best part is none of the Acclaim properties in there were anything they developed. It was all just the things they published. Right. But like they got on this train before Sega did, which was kind of amazing.
This is probably the best video game adaptation for a cartoon. That's not saying it's good. It's just for its era. I think it is probably the best. And the exception would be a show that John has in his notes, Earthworm Jim.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know.
I couldn't watch that. I remember that.
Really? You didn't like that as a kid?
No.
I loved Earthworm Jim. I read the comics, obviously played the video games, the whole lot. It was very much what 10-year-old me found funny.
Sure.
But nowadays, everybody is aware of everything that's going on in the media that matters to them.
Right.
But it took me a while to figure out that there was Earthworm Jim games. Like, I legit...
Was your first one Earthworm Jim 3D by any chance?
No. I've never played that one. But no, it was just a case where I was like, this cartoon came out that I really liked, and then someone in school going, "Oh yeah, the game's great." I'm like, "Sorry, what?" And then I thought in my head that the game was licensed from a TV show.
To be fair, Captain N was kind of terrible at that too, because like the Bayou Billy episode especially comes to mind. Like, if you had heard this character called Bayou Billy and you didn't know about the NES game before that, it's nothing the same. Castlevania 2, like Simon Belmont does not look like Simon Belmont.
Well, I'm sure you remember, Chris, the Final Fantasy episode too, which is basically just like, we're just going to retell Robin Hood. That was it, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, or
it had
Dragon
nothing
Warrior.
To do with. Yeah,
they did Dragon Warrior twice. They did Dragon Warrior twice.
Yeah, because it's
although
easy.
I think one was in that cursed season 3.
They're like, we're just gonna have some knights and wizards, right? That's what's in that game. I don't know.
Yeah, and the Dragon Warrior one, I remember it was just so they could build a Trojan dragon instead of the Trojan horse. Also, do a weird cover / filk version of working in a coal mine.
I like the
because they got
that,
called out on the music licenses.
Whoever owns Square, they sent a letter to the animation studio and just said, "We saw your Final Fantasy episode and we were not impressed. I don't think nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever fuck a pillow with your art on us."
Oh my god, Jonathan E. Capcom.
That's the standard, man, for anime.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Pete, help me steer this ship.
I was gonna start running down cartoons that have gotten it. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I know too much.
Pete, take the wheel. Talk about the art direction.
Okay, so
the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, I didn't. A little backstory to catch up with you guys. I never watched the Mario World show because I was a Sega guy and I didn't have a Super Nintendo. So I was always like, it would come on and I would get so mad I would turn it off because I was so deep in the
stupid things we did when we were children.
I know, but I used to watch Sonic before I would go to school every morning, and I can look at it now as an adult, and I forgot how much they made him a buzzsaw. Like anytime,
oh yeah,
oh my god, and he would do that tapping the foot like in the game, of course. But I remember that catchphrase where he's like, "I'm waiting," and it was like. Yeah. So looking at it now reminds me of I guess Looney Tunes at its worst, or maybe how cheap Rocky and Bullwinkle was. The animation is so poor. And,
I think that's a great pull because Rocky and Bullwinkle are like an animation aesthetic. Back then it was, let's just do this as cheaply as possible.
Yeah.
But I do see that comparison. I think it's a good comparison, but I'm very fond of the art style of this show because it reminds me a lot of George Harriman's work with Crazy Cat and how abstract and weird, especially the backgrounds are very Harriman-like. But
it's also very internally consistent, which I appreciate.
Yeah, there's something about that rubberiness and the backgrounds kind of being not detailed and kind of sparse. That is kind of, it's very charming, and that's stuff,
But I do see what you're saying as far as a low rent Looney Tunes, because they are going for that squash stretch slapstick type of humor, but they don't have as many frames except for whatever reason. I guess all the money in the show went towards Robotnik's ass because they'll waste as many frames of animation on him, and I love it. He's a very interesting, weird character, and the things that they did with him through the show is very reminiscent of those 40s Looney Tune characters with dressing in drag or just being grotesque, but not to the level of a Spumco cartoon or George Licker thing or anything like that, but just sort of wacky and zany, like you put it.
Well, especially because Tails is almost like Rocky the Flying Squirrel. He's the straight man,
Yeah.
And that scene near the end of the episode, I'm going to jump the gun, but both of those guys are in that tiny package he gives Robotnik. And I laughed at that because I was like, I didn't expect those two guys to be in that thing. Everybody kind of is a little ugly looking. That donkey was that a donkey or a horse?
But I think it was a donkey. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I like about the minimal backgrounds is it does again the rubberiness. The characters are really expressive for what they had to work with. They focused a lot more on every close up and everything is it pops very quickly. But I can kind of appreciate that.
Now, John, you were saying that with Earthworm Jim, you watched the cartoon first. I found watching this again that I remembered how much this character design shaped what I thought Sonic the Hedgehog should look like. To the point where I was like, the Archie comics look wrong because it doesn't look like this specific show, or I didn't like the darker Sonic the Hedgehog. What is that even called?
That's just Sonic the Hedgehog, but referred to commonly as Sonic the Hedgehog Saturday morning or Saturday AM.
Okay, and I didn't like that one because of it's tonally completely different from this show, but also like they tried to polish up the characters a little bit more, and for whatever reason, I didn't like it.
Well, they wanted to make Final Fantasy VII the cartoon.
Yeah,
they were stuck with Sonic property. That's what happened there. But like for me, like watching the show, like I enjoy the way the characters look for the most part. Like Sonic and Tails, they look fine. You know, they're not. You know, they're not abominations like the trailer for that new film that they released. You know, but
the Sonic with teeth.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like. It looked like Sonic. It was Sonic. It's not like like as Chris said, the Simon Belmont with his blonde hair and blue coat. For me, as an adult, kind of running through this, like the animation of the environments is very much a letdown in comparison to the games. Like when you look at like even the color saturation in Green Hill Zone, like with the clouds and the blue skies in the background, like it's way higher end than what we had in this. And you know, like so much of a game's character, especially a 16-bit platformer, like a lot of the character of the game is in the environments, and this just could have been any show. Like it could have been the background from anything that they slotted in there for the most part. And like the same with the Pinball Fortress, like it was in the distance. You didn't really see it. It was
that was quartered ass. That wasn't even half-assed. That was quarter
ass. Parts of it aren't even inked or outlined. It's like we put some smears of color. That one looks round and it's got a number on it. I guess it's a bumper. Okay.
I thought it had an SS symbol on it at one point.
Oh my
gosh. But I think it was like a lightning bolt, which I think is
the same thing.
Yeah. Never mind.
Half an S.
You can't argue with the characterization for the most part. Like it's fine. So, and that's what the money was back then. Like kids were looking at Sonic, not at the hills, which is what
You're like, why doesn't this show have the spinny flowers?
I'm like, listen,
there's no parallax in this show.
I'm like, why didn't you get Ghibli to make this show? Huh? Why did you get these jobbers over promised
here? Blast processing. I see none of that in this.
The closest you're going to get to blast processing is the Studio Pierrot anime OVA, which is also still terrible plot-wise. But Knuckles looks like he stole Fang the Sniper's hat at some point. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, that is a deep cut. It's coming soon. So I got to tell you, Jaleel White is Sonic the Hedgehog for me, although watching it back when I was doing research, I did not let my child watch this, but my wife was listening to me watch it while he was asleep, and she goes, "Is that Aziz Ansari?" I was like, "Oh my god, Aziz could totally be Sonic the Hedgehog now."
Yeah, like you remember Urkel, who clearly needed the Wurkel at this point, even though he was only halfway through Family Matters' run. Like, imagine that. I'm waiting delivered by Urkel, and that's half the show. Honestly, like when he's regularly talking, it's not so bad, but like
the I'm waiting. It was very similar to the "Excuse me, Princess."
Can I do that? Yeah, it's a fusion of the "Excuse me, Princess" and "Did I do that?" And it's the worst of both worlds.
That's what television was back then, though.
Yes,
it was people waiting to hear the same thing every week.
Say it. The Simpsons even referenced it. Say the thing, Bart. Say the thing.
What'd you think?
Seen the meme? It actually came from something.
What I think about the music?
Yeah,
I liked it. The theme song was really good. It did a nice spin on the theme song. Got you pumped.
Yeah, that theme song, that opening is. I mean, talk about 1940s Looney Tunes. You're watching it. You're watching a Wile E. Coyote cartoon or a Yosemite Sam interaction with Bugs Bunny or whatever. It's protagonist, antagonist, and slapstick. That's what's happening in the opening.
Yeah, with the title, with Robotnik trying to suppress it. Like that's actually kind of a cool visual touch. And the music itself just plays with the dan 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 hook like over and over, but in like slightly different ways. It's fun. It's interesting. Grieg's in the Hall of the Mountain King rolls in there somewhere, but It's okay.
Did anyone else catch, and I could be wrong, but I swear when they were in the Pinball Fortress, and it's not surprising considering Deke also worked on the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Did they use Super Mario Brothers sound effects?
They probably.
Probably.
I swear it was like bank. It was a coin and a pipe sound effect in that castle.
It would not surprise me again if they just pulled from the same sound bank they had and hope they didn't get caught.
Well, why bother trying?
Yeah. We noticed from the rest of the show.
Yeah, they're sitting there. They're like, the check cleared. Great, pushing out the door.
They never did a Mario and Sonic episode together. That would have blown my mind if they did that back in the day.
Yeah, well, the Dreamcast hadn't bombed yet, so
exactly. Yeah.
Based on what I've seen from the output of what people collect from studios, animation studios, and like toy studios and oddities and stuff, I guarantee you there are like drawings in the art styles of both where Mario and Sonic are naked or making out with each other or something.
Absolutely.
I know that's on DeviantArt for sure.
Yeah, but this is what animators used to do back in the day.
Right.
And again, the same people headed the Super Mario Brothers 3 show, so absolutely.
If it would, that'd be the strangest Blu-ray Easter egg or whatever. If you just click right on the thing and it's just Sonic pegging Mario.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rated AO. Why?
Yeah. Well, he'd have to peg
John on the podcast this late anymore.
The reason I say pegging is because Sonic is naked and there ain't no junk there, you know what I mean? He'd need the help.
I need an adult.
Yeah.
that is one of the Sonic says for sure. Oh, hey there, listener. I didn't see it come in. Well, since you're here, let me personally thank you for listening to this program. If you'd like to show your support a little bit further, check out the Hot Blooded Challenger Club. That's hotbloodedchallenger.club. You can become a member for as little as $1 a month. And with that $1, you get early access to premium episodes of this very podcast. What's a premium episode? Additional content that's cut just for club members. You could be listening to that instead of this advertisement right now. And hey, don't have the buck, but want to support the show? Leave us a 5-star review on your podcast catcher of choice. Honestly, it goes so far to help our algorithm, so one day you could hear me advertising for comfortable underoos or a really good mattress or yet another subscription box. But regardless, thank you so much for listening. Now, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, we might not have even gotten, I don't know if, Tiny Mega Man was compensating for her height in the comic, but, we almost dodged that bullet that we wanted to get hit by.
I'm going to flashbacks to the episode of Conan and the Young Warriors when John and I were talking about the giant and the water nymph. But regardless, we continue to digress, and we are back. We just had a very spirited discussion, and if you were a member of the Hot Blooded Challenger Club, you heard it. If not, you can become a member for as little as $1 a month. Go to hotbloodedchallenger.club, sign up, and get even more podcast content and even more podcasts. Gentlemen, it has been a long and very weird adventure with the three of you. So let's wrap up.
Wait. I didn't get to moon about my favorite voice actor. I'll try to be quick, but
go for it. Sure.
Of all the things that I honestly didn't even know this until I did my research for this, but Wes Weasley is voiced by Michael Donovan, highly prolific voice actor. He was Captain N's Eggplant Wizard. Ryoga Hibiki in the Viz dub of Ranma 1/2. Wolf Bronski from Exo Squad. And it's just, he's done tons of work. He was in Hot Wheels Heroes. He's still doing work today, but he was one of the 5 guys you could hire in the early 90s to
I couldn't pin the
anything.
Character voice he was doing. He's doing a very specific character. I couldn't pin it, Larry Fiennes is Stimpy, you know what I mean? I can't pin who he's being, but the voice he chose is a 40s actor, but whatever. He was great, and he's been great.
I love him, and I'm so glad of all the places he would have showed up. There he is.
He's some skimy salesman in a Sonic cartoon. All right, so Pete, what are your final thoughts for the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog?
I don't know about you guys, but my favorite part of the show, hands down, is Dr. Robotnik.
Yes.
He's so flamboyant. He's over the top. his little red eyes float in that like eye cavity.
Yeah. Such a strange being.
He's so strange. He's so bizarre. I like that guy a lot. And the customer in this episode was so weird the way he pronounced stupid. He was like, stupid. That made me laugh. And he had like $1,000. Yeah, he had like $1,000 in his crotch to like throw at that.
What, you don't keep your wallet in your crotch?
Well, not with that much cash.
And I mean, if I'm going to get mugged, we're going to make a party out of it. Like, come on.
You know, Sonic also told Robotnik he would settle his hash.
Yes.
Yeah, that rubbed me wrong too, because like, who the hell in this time period is going to know about settling a hash? Like that, and the golden toenail clippers, which were just like scissors.
Yes.
What are you clipping your toenails with over at the animation studio? Like,
I feel bad for any kid who used that settle your hash, like saw it that morning and then went to school and took it and like said it to a bully.
Yeah, they got stuffed in a locker.
Yeah, I know. And but other than that, like, generally I like this switch and squash animation style, and it was okay. That's what I liked.
It like, again, I like its internal consistency. It's something that it's okay to watch if it comes on. I wouldn't really seek it out. I definitely wouldn't binge it because several things are going to be leaking out of your ears and eye holes. But it's all right. Like, again, they tried. They basically just latched onto the 90s. Hey, he's got an attitude and is fast, and that was all they really want. That was literally all the characterization they did.
Sure.
So there's better Sonic material out there.
Yeah. Just watch the opening to Sonic CD over and over again.
Oh, the best.
Oh yeah. Dude, Sonic Boom is the tits. And the OVA I mentioned earlier, decently animated, and it's weird as hell, but it's only like maybe an hour, and you don't have to suffer through or enjoy that much of Robotnik's very tightly spandex-clad ass.
Like, I enjoyed this show as a child, and I think that's the ultimate judgment I should give it. I watched every episode I could watch. Although, thinking about it now, I don't know why I was wasting time with the one television in the house.
Sure.
On a cartoon of Sonic when I could have been playing the game.
Right.
But look, who can understand such a beastly child as myself? But I didn't dislike it. I think for what it is, it's fine. It doesn't have a lot of substance to it,
right?
But at the same time, it's not insulting to the source material. Like the Sonic that's on the screen is the Sonic that was in the games, more or less. I think the more Sega and other animation studios have elaborated on Sonic, the worse the character gets, because he's best as the silent, snarky kind of video game sprite. I think when they give him girlfriends and chili dogs or whatever, like, it was building on top of a very shallow foundation.
He was
Sonic the Hedgehog literally tried to fuck a robot in one episode.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sure he did. Like,
it was a robot hedgehog woman who was very designed similar to Jessica Rabbit. The dress, the gloves, but
yeah.
There was a translate by Robotnik, obviously, but
they don't go too deep, and that's fine. Leave it as shallow as you like, to kind of truck on, because again, a child doesn't really care about robot revolutions and the secret, what makes the rings so special or anything like that. Like, no, just stick him in a fucking loop-the-loop.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think that this adaptation works best because of all the points that we all talked about, which was keeping it like a Looney Tunes cartoon or like a Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon, where it's like very simple setups, slapstick humor. The writing isn't, on par with those, because a lot of the jokes fall flat. But to be completely honest, it suffers from two things. It's a licensed cartoon on a video game property that needs to be done as cheaply as possible, and it came out in the 90s. And 90s humor was like very shallow to begin with. It was, just calling people whatever boy, what's up, cheese boy? What's up, this boy? Like just dumb stuff like that, catchphrases, not real jokes with punchlines, more of just tood, right? Just like cardboard cutout of what is cool. Poochification, if you will, if you're a Simpsons fan, right? That's a term, poochifying it. That's definitely what was happening here.
It can all be summed up in one word, which is in this cartoon. And no.
Oh no, you're right. It's shoot. I'm sorry.
No, the word is not.
Yes.
That was what people found funny back then.
Yeah, before
we.
Yeah. Was that before after the era of Psych?
Right. It might have been in tandem. What I do like, though, of the show is its art style when it's not moving. I don't think the animation is terribly great, but I do like the character designs. I like like I said, abstract backgrounds and the notes for me that hit of George Harriman's work. I just like that. I like angular weirdness. So I thought that was cool. I don't want to suffer through any more episodes of this. I'd rather keep this as something I remembered as a child, where you think it's better than it actually is. Like I think I would hate this more if I had to watch any more of this. So we'll go to cereal bowl rankings. I'm going to go with what seems to be the consensus here, a very middling score of 5 out of 10, mostly getting demerits because of the time it came out and how cheaply it was put out. But getting that middle score because of its art style.
Yeah, I give it 5.5. It's not exactly. It's not offensive. It's not. It's not a lot of things, but it's but it's fine.
Sure.
I'm going to give it 5 bowls of standard grade pirate themed sugary raspy cereal. You don't get the peanut butter variety. You don't get the berries in there. Just a bit of a mouth shredding, and you got enough sugar in there to ignore that and kind of get through.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I hated Captain Crunch as a child, and it must have been on sale a lot when I was a kid, because it was always in my house. I fucking hated. Oh, sorry. I'm trying not to curse.
Everyone,
all you guys.
I've sworn plenty.
But yeah, the mouth shredding, like was it 50% razors? What was in that cereal that made it so abrasive?
It was designed to stay crunchy. I don't know if it's the way they baked it or how it was puffed or whatever. But like the idea, the whole spiel was it stays crunchy in milk, and because he's fighting the soggies. But it also stays crunchy in all the fleshy bits inside of you. So it's like not so great.
Pete, how many bowls of cereal do you give this show?
I mean, just thinking back to Robotnik should have never told anybody about what he was doing. He just left alone, finished his giant ray, and that would have been the end of it. Yeah. But so I give it 6 out of 10 bowls. I got a little bit of nostalgia, but that was about it. But something like along the lines of like honeycomb, nothing with marshmallows or anything good in it.
Right.
But it's like, oh, this is all right.
Enough sugar to pass.
Sure.
It's not puff rice. It's something you'd eat as a kid. Sure.
Yeah.
It's not Sugar Crisp or Golden Crisp. I don't know how that cereal fucking survives. It's terrible.
We're not starting. I have enough podcasts. We're not starting a cereal review show.
But I'll do it on my own.
Oh, I like that cereal.
Well, that just about does it for us, though. That definitely does it for us. I'd like to thank Chris, John, and Pete for joining us on this episode, and to thank the members of the Hot Blooded Challenger Club, without whom this podcast is not possible. If you would like to nominate a Saturday morning cartoon for me and John to review, because I don't think the 4 of us should ever be on a podcast again, because holy crap, this went off the rails immediately.
But if Captain N gets nominated, I will find out. I will be here.
We will bring it or not. We will bring everybody back, I promise. You can nominate a Saturday morning cartoon 2 ways. One way is by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher. We're combing through those. We'll see your nomination and your review, and we'll pick it up and cut a show. Or if you want to fast track your nomination, you can become a member of the Hot Blooded Challenger Club. Go to hotbloodedchallenger.club for as little as $1 a month. Now you're a member. Now you're getting early access to shows. You're getting more shows, and you can nominate things for our different programs. And if you can kick in a little bit more, there's t-shirts, prints, and everything else. But until next time, just stay away from Captain Crunch. Leave the roof of your mouth alone. And We'll be right back after the next show drops.
Give me my smokes.
Smoking's bad for you, you know.
No, it's not. Try it.
Whoa, little bro. That smoke will make you choke.
It doesn't make me go.
Smoking is for dumbbots. It's bad for your health, and it stains your teeth. So don't be a fool. Smoking isn't cool.